on to number 26. Sicha 26, Chaf Vav. So, Etzel Olam HaShicha, He Chesron Gadol Be'ineihem, Aval Be'inei Yesh Be'ashicha Ma'ila Gedola. So, in regards to forgetting, seemingly it's a chesron. It's not. We think it might not be a positive thing. But in regards to forgetting it, it is a good thing. Why? Because if it weren't for us forgetting things, we wouldn't be able to serve Hashem. Why is that? If a person would remember everything bad that he did, he wouldn't be able to elevate himself. They would confuse him and mess him up, all these things that he did. So, but through forgetting, he forgot what he does. The Yetzer Hara would tear us up. That if a person would think right before he comes to pray, he remembers all the times that he did different averos, he would feel like, who am I to come talk to Hashem? Who am I to do this mitzvah? I did all these things, and they would eat a person up. So in regards to this, in regards to avodas Hashem, serving Hashem, it's a big benefit and the chesed that Hashem does for us that we forget things. So on one hand, we do need to remember things in order to do teshuvah, to repent. You have to remember what you did. So that's why it's good to do cheshbon nefesh. You have a notebook, but you don't always remember everything that's in there. Let's say I do cheshbon nefesh every day, or every week, or every month. So I did my teshuvah then, and then when Yom Kippur comes around, or Erev Yom Kippur, Erev Rosh Hashanah, I take out my notebook, and then I remember it there. I remember it at a specific time when I want to do vidui, I want to talk to Hashem. But the rest of the time, I don't remember it, and it's not going to bother me. So yeah, it is important to remember things in terms of doing teshuvah, but you can write it down. It doesn't necessarily have to be always in your head. Okay, then point number 2. Ve'etzlo haderech shekol ma she'aver v'halach nifsak v'holech lechalotin ve'enu chazro b'daito od klal ve'enu meval v'klal atzmo od b'ma shekvar aver v'halach. Basically, whatever happened, happened. Okay, it's gone. Here, just in the note here, it says Maida Hava Hava. Whatever happened, happened. We have to. Whatever happened, Masha Aver V'halach, it's gone. V'nifsag v'holich l'holtin be'enu chozer b'daito od kal. Don't think about it. He says whatever. I've seen in other places. Whatever happened, that's in the past. So don't settle on it now. Don't dwell on it now. And also, even in the future, it hasn't happened yet. So don't worry about it. Focus on the here and now. It's very important to be living in the moment. Whatever happened, it happened already. It's gone. So yeah, you have to do tshuva. You have to repent, but you can't dwell on it. People let the past affect them so much, or people are so worried about the future. I have to live in the present. Benyan zeh hu derech eitzah tova gedol me'od be'avodas Hashem. Ki al pi rov yesh la'adam bilbulim rabim ve'arbo hadas me'od. So this is a big advice, a very big advice in serving Hashem, because the majority of people have different bilbulim, different confusions, and different things that hold them back, that happen to them, that they went through, specifically when a person comes to daven. Right? You try and clear your head, ready to pray, and all of a sudden you start thinking about things that you went through today, yesterday. Things that happened, things that went on. Shaz ba me'elav, because during tefillah, specifically during tefillah, all these things come to the person. Habil bulim, ma'arvim, ma'akmim, as daito, ma'akshik faraver. They confuse him and they hold him back, and all these things, they mess up his das, what he's thinking, what happened. Pam yeshla bil bulim me'inyan hamaysamat. And sometimes the person's thinking about business, what he did. Sometimes even he wants to start davening, and all of a sudden he'll get a text about his business, or from a worker, or from who knows what, his check the stocks, whatever. All these thoughts of business could come into a person's head. Beis or different things, his house, his wife, husband, text text you right before you want to daven, or whatever it is, you just had to leave the house, the kids are going crazy, who knows what. Thinking about matters of the house. You're thinking, oh, maybe it wasn't good I did this, maybe I should really do this. Things like that. Right? They come, they confuse a person, whether it wants to start learning now or doing a certain mitzvah, and we just think about all these things that we did, the bad things we did. This wasn't good I did to Hashem. Like every person knows for himself, right? We all have different things that we feel that we might have messed up on in regards to serving Hashem. And in regards to Ben Adam Chaveiro, right? How we interact with other people. You start thinking about, maybe I yelled at this person, I was angry with this person, I didn't talk nice to this person, I could have spoken nicer, I didn't have to say anything, I should have said something, whatever it is. We all have our things that we dwell on. Forgetfulness, it's a big eitzah. It's a good advice. Just forget about it. Forget about it, right?
Yeah.
Forget about it. It's gone. It's done. You can't go back. That immediately, when a person, throws this thing away, when it's done, it's done. Forget about it. Don't think about it. Be mesiach das, meaning take it out of your mind and forget. And understand this well. It's a very great thing. Okay, like we said, if it's something obviously that you need to repent, okay, you got to do what you need to do. But if it's something that you can't affect, then forget about it. Okay, next point. It also says in Svarim that because of this, Torah forgetfulness was given in order that the Torah be precious for the one that learns it all the time, like you're learning it for the first time. Okay, especially the Parsha. We can learn the Parsha so many times every year, and we learn new things because over the year we forgot things, and it's like a new Parsha again, new Gemara. But either way, even if you remember things, our Yeshiva says it's very important to learn something like it's the first time. But forgetfulness definitely helps with this. But through forgetting, when you go back and you learn something, even if you already learned it, so then it becomes precious to you, and it's like new again.
You find things you didn't see the first time.
Right. Yeah, you do find things you didn't see the first time, but even things you did see before, you forgot them, and now it's like new again. Like, well, that's cool, even though you did see it. But yeah, that's true. You do see new things anyway. Visa masha alomid v'shochach. So there's a mashal for someone that learns and forgets. Sheschar nashim lemalos chavios. So a mashal is that a person was hired to fill barrels. Okay, someone got hired to fill up barrels. V'chavios hayu nekuvim, and these barrels had holes in them. So you hired somebody to fill up a barrel of water. So he goes down to the river, or here in Miami, went to the ocean, and filled up this barrel, and he's walking back, and there's a hole in it. So kol ma shahayu shochim lesoch chavios nishbach lechutz. So whatever the person is pouring into this barrel, it keeps pouring out. V'atipshim amru ho v'chazav nishbach lechutz lama lanu lega umalos ma'acha shacha kach nishbach. The tipshim, the stupid ones, would say, listen, since it's just pouring out, why should we trouble ourselves to fill it afterwards? It's just gonna pour out again. But the Chacham says, what good is it? Hello, pourin li alayom. He says, who cares? The guy's paying me, right? So someone who gets hired and they're a tipesh, they're not smart. So they got hired to fill this barrel. So they fill the barrel and they see the water's just pouring out. So they say, why should I do this? But the smart person says, okay, who cares? The guy's paying me to do it. It's pouring out. Okay, so what? I'll do it anyway. He pays me every day, so the guy knows what's going on. Who cares? I'm paid every day. Who cares if it spills out? Even though a person forgets, someone might say, listen, I don't have a good memory. Whatever I learn, whatever Torah that I learn, I only remember a few words, a few lines. I remember just a little bit. So I shouldn't really learn because I'm not going to remember tomorrow. Umali im nishbach. Okay, sorry. Schar lo yikubach mechol yom v'yom. But a person's schar for learning doesn't reduce every day. Doesn't matter. You forgot. The ikar is you have to learn. We learn, we get reward for sitting and trying to learn. Our merit and our schar doesn't depend on if we remember it or not. There's other things, okay, doing chazara, you have to review, that's true, but it doesn't take away from that initial learning if you don't remember something. Nice note here. Okay, next point. V'da shela asid mazkir nas adam kol mashlamed af im shechach. So I don't know if we're going to get to it today, but we're going to see a lesson soon more specifically about learning. But he says it's also important to know that whatever a person sees in this world, he's going to remember in Olam Haba. In Olam Haba, we learn Torah. We get different levels and understanding of Hashem. And so whatever we see, whatever we read at least once in this world, we'll remember in the world to come. Afim shachach, even if we forgot it now. Let's say I learned the Masechta, I went through the Gemara Shabbos 5 years ago, and I remember nothing. I can open the Gemara and I try and read it again. I have no clue what I'm talking about. But I learned it once through, so that's stored in my neshama. And when I'm in Olam Haba, I'll be able to open up the Gemara and learn with Moshe Rabbeinu. We're going to learn the Yeshivas Moshe and Shem Aver, whoever's giving shir up there, whatever shir I'm in, and I'm going to remember everything. You have to, whatever we learn once, we'll remember in Olam Haba. Gam b'nei Adam hashavim b'Torah shel tzadik emes ve'inim avinamos. The same thing also if we're learning, if someone hears the Torah of a tzaddik. Especially, so this isn't as bad, but we're learning Likutei Moharan. I open up Likutei Moharan, come to my class on Tuesday nights in Lighthouse or watch it online. I have to admit, I don't understand every word. It's very difficult. But in the future we'll understand. So you get bits and pieces, but you learn it once, you'll understand. Also, I think the Ben Ish Chai also says this on a Gadata. There's a lot of Gadata Gemaras, different stories in the Gemara, like really have no idea what they're talking about. You know, there are some Sfarim that explain them. Rebbe Nachman explains a lot of these Gemaras, but a lot of them he doesn't. A lot of them, some people do, and they're still very deep, hard to understand. But the Neshama understands, and will understand them in Olam Haba. But the main thing is you have to at least learn it once and try and learn it, and don't feel bad that you don't understand. Ki ikar Torah hi leneshamas. Wow, because the main Torah, it's for the neshamos. Your brain, your human brain, you might not understand. Your neshama understands. You're feeding your neshama. So it's a chesed that we can understand some and we get a geschmack out of learning it. But mainly it's food for the soul. Shabolam haba yu haneshamus bekim masigim hetiv eset Torah shalamed v'shama adam b'olam hazeh. Because in Olam Haba, your neshama, our neshama, will be an expert in all the thing, and it will understand well all the Torah that you learned here. Okay, so that means if you don't learn Torah here, your neshama is not going to have much Torah there. So now it's like basically think of it as a library.
Do as much as you can.
Now we're just stocking up our library for Olam Haba. Think about it like that. You have a huge room, your neshama, and you're only going to have in your library whatever books you put in there. So you got to learn them at least once to put your library for Olam Haba, or otherwise you're going to be repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Ashrei Mavila Yamav b'Torah v'Avodah Harbe. Happy is the one that fills his days with Torah service a lot.